What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the world of supermarket refrigeration. Today we're working on this leak detector panel. So basically I was here yesterday, had to rerun a bunch of this pipe, rerun this, still cleaning some stuff up, but right now what I'm doing is wiring all this in, and a lot of it's pre-wired, but I don't like when wires are all like this. Like, I could take them all and like zip tie them, you know, something like that, but I just think that looks messy. So what I've been doing is I've got a couple different like DIN rails that I've used. I think this one's from like a Hussmann RL case. This one's from like a Hussmann case with a KE2. I just been kind of like disassembling it, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my own DIN rail. Take that one out, take that one out, and put everything onto that, or this one, I don't know which one yet, one of those. We're gonna make our own, and that way we can clean up a lot of this wiring, so it's not all just fucking, this shit drives me nuts. So that's what I'm doing. And then once we get done with that, this has already got power on it right there. Need to turn this thing on and then basically test. I have 2 leak detectors inside the boxes. I got one here and one here that I haven't done yet, and then I got 2 strobes, or I guess 4 Horn strobes, on 2 different circuits, one for our walk-in cooler, one for our produce prep. So I'm gonna have to go out to the controller, program all that, and then test it, make sure everything works. Okay, so here's our final product on that, which I don't know if that's better or worse. And then basically I got all my incoming stuff on this side, all my outgoing stuff on this side, and if you didn't watch this video, you don't know how this is going to be wired. So make sure you tell everybody, if you know anybody that's not watching these videos already, to make sure to get on these and watch them, or else they're not going to know how this is going to be wired. So I'm just kidding. I put a little diagram right there, so whoever comes in after me can at least know what this thing's doing. So that's pretty much it with that. What I have to do now is I have my comm wire here. I'm gonna have to hook that up here, and then what I have to do right now is I actually have to run another set of wires down to a panel right there for my AIs. I had them hooked up on this board for my AIs for the leak detectors, the actual ones that are right there going in the box. But this controller for the rack is maxed out on AIs, and I have a couple spare points down there. So all I'm going to do is just pull the wire up, basically where this comm wire is going. I'm going to pull another 18.4 up here, and then I'm just going to tie in these wires to go down there. It's not maxed out on RO boards, so I'll have to see how many we have. I'll probably have to change the address on this, but I can use this RO board. I just have to tie in these AIs down there. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I got my fish tape, fish it down there. I got my box of wire right there on my box, so I'm just going to pull it up and then just tie them in right here. All right, I got these pulled up. You can see I got my wire down there coming up, coming through, and then I got these. I pulled them off this input block right here and just wire nutted them together for right now. I know it looks like a mess. It's fucking driving me nuts already, but I've been doing this recently, just wire nutting stuff instead of doing like final terminations while I'm still testing. It just makes it a lot easier to just unwire nut stuff than to have to cut it back, restrip it when I fuck up a connection or whatever. So these will all get replaced with final connections, but for right now I just have them wire nutted. But basically I just have, like I said, I had this 18.4 coming in from downstairs. That's my new AI board. We'll go down there in a second. And then I have green and red going to my prep horn and strobe, or my prep leak detector. And then I have black and white going to my walk-in cooler leak detector. So now I just need to terminate those down there, and then basically just get out to the controller, associate this, see what board I need to label this, and then we'll turn power on and we should be able to start programming everything. All right, so we got these terminated. This is my panel. All right, that's where I pulled it to and from. into here, and you can see this shows board number 5. If we look at that, we got 1 and 3 up, so that is in fact board number 5. And then we have these landed on point 11 and 12. So what I like to do, my white and black are for my cooler, my green and red are for my prep. So I'm going to go 5.11, 5.12. And then the next thing I need to do is so this is my end of line board right here, right? And I can tell because I only have 1 set of wires in there. You can see this one, we got set of wires coming in, set of wires going out. This one, we only have that 1 set of wires going in. So that's where I'm going to tie in my comm loop for that board is up there. So I'm going to go ahead, just tie that in, and then I already have that comm loop pulled and we'll land it up there. So what I want to do before I go back up there, that's not what I'm trying to get to, is I want to go in and see how many RO boards I have, so that way I know what to address that new RO board to. So if I go to, it should be system configuration, network setup, and then connected IO boards. You can see right here, I've got a max of 16 AI, and I'm already maxed out at 16. That's why I had to pull those wires down to that other board. But if I come over here to my 8RO, I can show I have a max of 32, and right now it's looking for 17 boards. So what I'm gonna do is that board that's on top of that walk-in, that RO board, I'm gonna label as board number 18. And then points 1 and 2 are my leak detectors, or my horns and strobes. So let's go do that right now. We got this terminated, and then because I know this is a final termination, I put this little heat shrink on there, which I've been trying to do more often. I just carry, like, I've been carrying this around with me. It's got a bunch of different sizes of heat shrink. Whatever the fuck you call it. What is that? Heat shrink. That's what I said. Yeah, it's man, I just think it looks slick, and I don't do it all the time. You know, I've seen a lot of it not done. It's just something a little extra that I try to do just to make things look nice, you know, because like when I walk up and I see this or like this, I'm like, damn, that shit looks fucking clean. You know, with the market we work in right now, there's so many competitors that if I can do just a little thing to kind of put myself a step up. And I'm not saying if I don't see that, like, I'm gonna think like, oh, what a piece of shit, because obviously it doesn't need to be done, but it's just a nice little step. Anyway, okay, so I got that tied in. I addressed this to board 18, all right? And we can tell I did that because switch 1 and switch 5 are up, 5 of 16, or sorry, switch 2 and switch 5, 5 of 16, 2 is 2, which makes 18. Put it right there, put it over here, AI not in use, RO 18, put where our AIs are, the board and the point, that's going down there. And then the last thing you got to do is these termination jumpers. They were on the right side, switch them to the left side, and you can see right here, there's that little thing that pulls up. Not terminated is to the right, which means that terminated is to the left. And since this is my last board on the loop, you can tell because I only have 1 set of wires going in there. Since this is my last board on the loop, I want to make sure it's terminated. And then I'm probably going to also have to go back and make sure that that board is not terminated, which I think I didn't see that it was. But anyway, okay, so what we should be able to do now is turn this on. Whoop. That shouldn't have come on. I've got those 2 down. Let's see with my little screwdriver up. Let's put, so these should be normally open, which they are. Normally open and on. It could also be because this board's gonna be in comm loss right now. Okay. So no alarmy. But that is good because that tells me that my horns and strobes work. Let's do this. Oh. So you can see it stopped calling for all of them, so I do want these down. And I'm just gonna unplug these for a second and then turn it on. And wait for all these to go out, because right now it's just powering up. Right, wait for those to go off, and now they should not do anything. And then if I test one, oh, calling for that one to be on. Okay, so that one definitely works. What about this one? Okay. Okay, I don't know why that one's calling to be on. It shouldn't be calling for anything, but we're gonna go down to the controller and look at that right now. So now what I want to do is, since I have that 18th board, I'm gonna come in here, connected I/O boards, and I'm gonna change this from 17 to 18. All right, and now what's gonna happen is if we go to our network summary, yes, I want to go. That's 16 AI, that's an RO number 2, that's an RO number 6. It's probably gonna be this RO 11. Oh yeah, right there, number 18. So it's still showing offline. It'll probably take it a second to pull it in. All right, anyway, so while we're waiting on that, let's go back to our inputs. So board 5, 11, and 12. Board 5, 11, and board 5, 12, right? So that's our inputs for our leak detector. So if we go into setup, we want to do analog. We want to do PPM. Right there. And that'll change it to PPM. Should be good there. Right now it's showing 939 PPM. That might be the one that's disconnected. So if we go set up, analog, change that from temperature to PPM. And now it's showing, so this one, so there's one of them that's bad, that's disconnected, that I just have unplugged. We have to turn it in for warranty. That's that one. This one is still showing 400 or so PPM, but we at least know that those points are working, which is really all I'm trying to do right now, because I have a doctor's appointment that I got to leave to in 5 minutes. So all of that's good. And then what I'm going to end up doing, that's still showing offline, which it shouldn't. So I might have to power cycle the controller in order to get this on. But what I'm going to end up doing, and maybe I'll make this another video, I'm basically going to make an analog sensor control. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a separate video and show you how I'm going to actually be programming this, or programming those leak detectors into the controller. Like I said, right now I just wanted to make sure everything works. And then tomorrow I'll come back, we'll go over all the programming. So that's where I'm gonna leave this one off right here. I'll figure out that RO board tomorrow. I at least know everything's working on it. So yeah, as always, I appreciate you guys. Sorry for the lack of content. It's been a very busy life recently, but get on it as much as possible, you know. But yeah, thank you everybody. Like, subscribe, share. Make sure you send this to somebody that you think might enjoy it or you think needs it. Again, I appreciate all of my members. Y'all are awesome. And yeah, later.